Into the second part of the video, we are going to grab the pixel on the setter, but first we are going to enhance the color of this bottle here, this pack shot, just by raising the level of saturation. So just a tiny tweak into our element. So to do that, you can use the shortcut Ctrl U, or you can go to Image, Adjustments, and you can pick the hue saturation settings. So what I want just to do here is just to enhance a little bit the saturation level, and I'm gonna as low. So as you can see, the drop down list here, you are in a master mode. So if you click here, I'm just gonna select the blue part of this element, and we are going to enhance a little bit the saturation a little bit, just to make, if you click on the preview, you can see that the level of purple and pinky here are a little bit raised into this element. So now I'm happy with this kind of color. You can adjust that to the way you want. So again, I'm gonna pick the marquee tool, but I'm gonna choose a different style to make my stretch effect. I'm gonna pick a fixed ratio here. So the width is gonna be 1 and the height is gonna be set to maximum, so 999. And so from now I'm gonna be able to drag a selection onto this bottle. You don't gonna see it because we are far away. If you zoom in, you're gonna see that it's just picking 1 pixel here into this element. So this is why the effect is called the stretch effect. So this effect was popularized by Joey Canvazos. So you can see the link as well of this work into the description. So from this selection, I'm gonna press Ctrl J, or I'm gonna say I'm gonna click on Ctrl C, Ctrl V, Command C or Command V if you're on a Mac, and that's gonna create a new layer with our pixel here. From now, what I need to do is just press Ctrl T. So you're gonna have the transform tool here, but you have to keep the stretch. If you don't press Shift here, you're gonna have a weird transformation here. So keep in mind that you have to hold Shift if you want to stretch it that way, and if you want to stretch it in the both way at the same time, you have to hold Shift and Alt to stretch that on this straight line here. So you don't gonna see nothing for the moment because we have to here press Enter to see our selection. So it missed some part here, so you're just gonna hold Shift and stretch it onto the end of the canvas, and then press Enter, and now we are able to see our nice stretching effect. So now to make it circular, we are going to use a filter, but first I advise you to duplicate this part and let it into the document, just to have a backup if we made any mistake here. So to make it circular, we are going to go onto filter, and we are going to use the distort section and then polar coordinates. You are going to see that if you zoom out by clicking the little dash minus here, you're gonna see what happened into this effect. So you can click on OK, and now that's gonna make it circular here. So now what we need to do to have a really round circle here, what I want to have is something that it's gonna be just behind the bottle, but just make it, we are going to stretch it a little bit again. So press Ctrl T, hold here the Shift button, and hold as low Alt to make it round that way. Okay, I need to have a circular effect here. So once you do that, you can put that just under the bottle. So I'm gonna drag the bottle just under, and now we are gonna be able to adjust the size of the element. We can adjust as low the place of the bottle because it seems that it's not really into the center. So you can, I hold Control and I just pick my element like this to move it a little bit. Or yeah, I'm sure that this one is on the center. When you move it, you can have the guidelines that tell you that it's on the center here. So now what I need to do is make it a little bit more, maybe bigger. It's really up to you, but I'm gonna hold here just Alt to keep the proportion of my element, and I'm just gonna hold Alt in order to keep the center of gravity again. So I need to have something, yeah, like this. So now I need to add this part here, but I'm just gonna pick the selection from this part here. So I'm just gonna need to hold Control or Command and click onto this layer of my background here. And now I can apply this mask to my round texture. So you can click on this icon, the tiny mask here, and that's gonna mask this part onto this element. Okay, so the main composition is done actually. Now it's gonna be all around playing with the glow effect, the light and the shadow on this kind of stuff. So there is several ways to do this kind of stretch, but mainly this is one way to create this kind of style here. It seems that it's not really again onto the center, so I'm just gonna pick this element here, yeah, move it a little bit. What we can do as well is maybe rearrange the proportion of our element. So if you want to do that, it's not mandatory, but you can still take the crop tool, and as you can see into my drop-down list, I choose this ratio 16:19, like the television one or the cinema one, and you can see how it's gonna be doing in your image, okay, to keep the different proportion of your image. So you can as well clear the ratio if you want. So what it's good with this, as we select the different kind of solid color here, you don't gonna have any problem to make the color following. So it's just up to you for the kind of format. I'm gonna let it that way for the moment, and we are continue with the creating the glow effect for the stretch effect. So here I go. I need to just duplicate here. I don't need the whole circle here. So what I need to do is hold Control and click onto the layer mask here. And what I need to do is to duplicate just this part of our circular effect. So I'm gonna press Ctrl J or Ctrl C, Ctrl V, and as you can see, I'm gonna have a new element. I'm just gonna put it around, and so the first effect is gonna be to apply a filter, and we are going to blur and a Gaussian blur. We are going to apply a Gaussian blur here. The radius is going to be set to 80 pixels, something like that, and you're going to say OK, and then we are going to drag this element just behind our element. What it's doing is just spread a little bit the pixel to create this kind of effect all around. So now we are going to duplicate this blurry effect, put that on the top, and into the blend mode I'm gonna choose overlay in order to make the color pop. So you can have the translation onto the Adobe site and as well into the link into the description if you are in a different language. So you're gonna choose overlay here, and that's gonna, as you can see, that's gonna make the color pop a little bit more onto this element. So this is for the to create the glow effect. You can as well set some different kind of element into it, but mainly this is done for this effect. Into the last part of the video, I'm going to show you how to add the logo and how to make the post-production kind of effect onto this series.